guests from a particularly shocking episode. Let me tell you this, my friends. This episode got more comments than any other in the history of this show, and we've been doing this for 11 years. Take a look at this. You shouldn't be here. You've no right to be here. Who was that?
That's sweet Kirsty aunt.
That was Auntie Eileen. So she came to see some members of the family and this money went missing.
Yeah, that's
Did
right.
you steal the money?
No, I didn't. She said that we all shared it out.
You didn't steal money?
No,
You've done a lie detector.
Yes, it is.
How many people have done that? Has everybody done a lie?
Yeah, we all have.
All of you. So that's you,
Oh,
Therese,
what's going on?
Mary Jr.
Who are you? I'm so sorry to burst in on you unannounced like this, but the back door was open actually, so I came in. I do hope I haven't alarmed you.
It's always open, so I don't have to get up every time some ruddy nuisance comes knocking.
Yeah.
Since the mother
Not
got
for
the
the
name
council,
that's the senior Mary.
Told the last bloke next time I'm going to fill him in, never mind his ruddy fool.
No, I'm not from the council, please rest assured.
On her shoulder.
You just lower the volume a little bit, please.
And her leg is really swelled up.
She accused your partner of, what?
Doing something in her fridge.
So what's all this about then?
Sunset Care. You may have heard of it. No? Oh, well, I'm sure I'll be able to tell you a lot more about what we do as we go along.
I'm sure you will.
Well, the first item on the agenda is apologies. I'm afraid Mrs. Wharton couldn't join us today as she has to attend a very important meeting.
Mrs. Wharton? Never heard of her.
Well, she would have followed up our visit with a letter.
Oh, wait a minute. Wasn't she that woman with 5 kids down the road who ran away with a Paul's bloke from Mitcham, was she? She never needed a treble chance, that one. One was enough for her.
No, that doesn't sound like Mrs. Wharton. No, Mrs. Wharton is my coordinating officer, and I'm afraid she wasn't able to join us today to get our first session off to, as they say, a flying start. Do you think I could sit down, please?
So what's this session about then? Are you an hairdresser or something?
Oh, a hairdresser. How funny. No, I'm what they call a befriender. I'm part of a team who make it their business to call on vulnerable people who want to make contact with other people and help improve their quality of life going forward. To cut a long story short, in a nutshell, without beating about the bush, I'd be absolutely delighted to be your listening friend.
Listening friend. What makes you think I'll need one?
Well, you must have been amenable to the idea at some point, otherwise I wouldn't be here. You'd have been vetted for suitability to the programme. You don't recall? No? Oh, well, I'm really delighted you qualified. I really am.
I still don't know what you're going on about, and I can't remember anything these days. What was this woman wearing?
Mrs. Wharton? Oh, well, it would have probably been something in taupe.
Taupe. Taupe. What the hell's that, for God's sake?
Fawn, a sort of browny grey. But let's concentrate on your life here on the Beddington estate, and feel free to ask me any questions at all, anything at all. I'll be here once a week if you'd like me to be, so you'll have plenty of time to think of some questions in between visits. So, how do you spend your time?
Driving racing cars.
Racing cars!
And in my spare time I run marathons. The old blood pressure goes through the roof at about 20 miles, but who cares when you're having fun?
I think you're pulling my leg, aren't you? You had me going there for a moment. I can see I'm going to have to be on my toes with you. So no, how do you spend your time?
Now look, what's all this about? You come in here without so much as a by your leave, and I'm supposed to tell you all my worldly secrets? Why do you think I want to? I don't mean to be rude, but why don't you bugger off and leave me alone?
Oh dear, I'm so sorry if I've offended you. I really didn't mean to. Mrs. Wharton organised this a long time ago, but I don't remember really what happened. This was going to be my first time doing this sort of thing. I really did want to get off to a good start. Now I'm going to have to go back to tell her what happened.
It's all right, love, it's all right. You're only trying to help. Shall we start again? Right. So you want to know something about me, do you? Well, I'm 83.
83? Oh, well, I wouldn't have believed
You
that.
thought I was 93, did you? I'm only joking. You'll have to get used to that with me. Right. Well, I've been on my own since Jack died.
Oh, I am sorry.
Oh, no, it's all right, love. The big sea 20 years ago. We both smoked like ruddy chimneys in those days, but I never got through as many as him. Oh, we must have smelt something wrong the place, and us. If it wasn't nicotine, it was B.O. I blame those shirts they used to wear with the detachable collars. You could smell them 100 yards off, that's the truth. Summer used to wear them for 3 weeks on the trot. I reckon they had to take them off with potato peelers.
Absolutely. Smells can be quite evocative, can't they? Chap on the bus coming over here today was wearing an aftershave Trevor used to use. Old Spice, I think it was. Doesn't seem to bother about that sort of thing now.
Who's Trevor?
Oh, he's my husband, an accountant in the city. Always on the go, foraging away, working all hours God made. And weekends, more often than not. Oh dear. I sometimes wonder if he goes on the 7:22 and just not come back. You know, like one of those worker ants who collapses from exhaustion and is dragged away by the other ants from the nest. I smile when I think about that.
So, your Trevor's an ant?
It seems like that, yes. Always scurrying around, you know, like an ant or a field mouse. Always on the go.
I remember Jack when he worked on the fish counter at Sainsbury's. Made your eyes water, it did. I got used to it in the end though, and it was nice, because people never used to sit next to us in their pictures.
Sounds as though you two had a good life together.
Well, it weren't easy, but we managed, I suppose. I got a job in the village bakery when I was 16. I was good at baking, I was. Especially the kneading, because I've got strong arms. See? That's where I met Jack. He was a good man. I wouldn't have changed a thing about him, really. Well, apart from those smelly old shirts.
What happened? If you don't want to say, I don't understand.
Oh, no, it's all right, love. We were looking forward to him retiring and getting his pension, you know. He never made it. Those ruddy fags saw to that. Navy cut he used to smoke. Then it was Craven A, the ones they said was kinder to your throat. Didn't say what they did to your lungs though, did they? These were like 2 kippers by the time they'd finished with him.
Oh dear, I am sorry. Trevor never smoked, thank goodness.
So, your Trevor don't wear aftershave and don't smoke neither. Well, he must do something else apart from working. Oh, I know. He's a boozer, isn't he? Yeah, that's it. I reckon the 2 of you sit with a whiskey bottle alone of an evening and go through it till you're pie-eyed. Go on, tell me I'm not wrong.
Well, I assume you're pulling my leg again. No, Trevor doesn't like alcohol, except for the occasional glass of wine. When you're working with figures all day, you've got to keep your wits about you.
There's nothing.
That's what he says anyway.
With a little drop of the other when the time's right, not all the time. Well, my Jack wasn't a boozer, you know what I mean, but he liked a beer and a little drop of whiskey birthdays or Christmas. I used to have one too. It helps you get on, especially if you had a little tiff or something.
Yes, I'd like to have a drink sometimes, you know. The odd glass of bubbly or 2. Not think of the consequences.
Why not have a little one on your own when he's not looking?
Oh dear, don't think I could do that. Start of a slippery slope and all that. Besides, I wouldn't know where to stop. I'd be running to the off licence every 2 minutes with my 90. I mean, oh dear. Yes, just wouldn't be. Anyway, besides, Trevor wouldn't approve.
Oh, to hell with Trevor.
What?
Well, don't you do anything he doesn't? Look, I tell you what. Go into the kitchen. There's a sherry bottle there and a couple of glasses. Bring him in here and we'll have a little snifter. Only a small one, mind, as I don't want you running out of here in your smalls when you go.
Oh no, I don't think that's a very good idea at 11 in the morning. I'm 3 sheets to the wind by lunchtime. But I'll get it for you.
It's just in there on the right and the glasses are next to it, I think.
Oh, you both look very happy.
What you got there? Oh, the wedding one. Well, it would have been bad if we'd had long faces that day, wouldn't it?
Well, I suppose it would have been a bit early for doubts to creep in, yes.
We had a good do at the local pub afterwards. Our own private room all done up nice with silver cutlery and real linen serviettes all starched and pressed like dicky fronts. Jack was afraid to use it in case he messed it up, so he used the hanky in his top pocket. I've always remembered that.
It is always the small things, isn't it? Our pictures are in an album somewhere. I haven't looked at it for years. You sure you wouldn't prefer a cup of tea?
Oh, tea, big bloke, give me that bottle and let's have a drop of walk through sunny Spain.
Well, all right then, just a little one. Oh dear, if I didn't know you better. Oh, I'd say you were trying to get me squiffy.
Cheerio, you'll feel a bit better after this. Lovely and warming.
Ooh, smooth and silky. The satin dress I had once, so nice. Oh, lovely. You know, I told a little white lie earlier about me drinking on my own. 20 years ago, when William was about 5, we went to Malaga on a holiday, and at the airport, Trevor bought a bottle of Sandymans. And every evening, while he was downstairs, I sat on our balcony and watched the sun go down. Big red ball sinking below the horizon. A deep blue sky. Then I put it away, wash the glass and wait for Trevor to come up. That bottle lasted a week and Trevor never had a drop. I bought another bottle and he thought it was the same one. I polished that one off too.
It's nice to have a little drop when it's nice and quiet. And how are you sure Trevor had his nose in the paper downstairs and wasn't off with a dancing girl?
Oh, well, he told me that was the only time he could catch up with events back home. You know, financial things, stocks and shares, that sort of thing.
Couldn't wait to be alone with his wife then.
No, conversation wasn't one of his strong points, no. Idle chat, he called it. But that was fine. I got used to that and just carried on looking after William. I love that. Making special treats for him, playing with him. Then I'd read to him and get him off to sleep. Then I'd snuggle up beside him and fall asleep myself. His nice little bed, all cosy, really cosy.
I can see the two of you now, like 2 peas in a pod.
Then Trevor would come home and want his dinner. I was so tired he'd have to wake me up and shake me sometimes to wake me.
I'd have told him to bugger off and get it himself.
Oh, no, he was quite right, absolutely. I mean, what had I been doing but lolling about the place while he'd been earning the pennies? So I could spend them on rubbish, as he called it. Even though it was to make the house look nice.
That'd drive me bonkers, I'm telling you.
Oh no, it was fine. It was fine. No, I didn't mind really. Oh, it was just his way, and in his disapproving voice he'd say, "What have you been doing all day to be sleeping all over the place?" words could be quite hurtful sometimes, but it's fine.
Fine. Sounds to me like you were a bloody slave in your own home, if you don't mind me saying.
Oh, I don't want to give you the impression that I was a downtrodden housewife. Oh, no. We have good times. Tough times, yes. So, what's your favourite TV programme?
What about we?
Mine's the Antiques Roadshow. And those nature programmes, you know, the ones with David Attenborough. Oh, birds especially. I love them. The way they fly off in formation, as if they're controlled by some invisible force, escaping to Africa for the winter, leaving their cares behind them. Oh, what a wonderful sight to see. Mrs. Wharton says we should be aware crossing boundaries.
Boundaries? What boundaries?
Personal ones. You know, we should stay within the guidelines. But at this moment in time, I can't remember what they are. Can I have another one, please? So sweet. William, was such a sweet, sensitive little boy. Oh, he'd pick up on all of our discussions by our tone of voices and expressions. He was artistic too. Oh, he loved painting. When he was older, he decided he wanted to go to art school. But Trevor said no. Wouldn't hear of it.
Why not, if he was such a good painter?
Trevor wanted him to be an accountant, but William would have hated it. But Trevor couldn't understand that. Oh, the rows they had. Oh, sometimes they were shouting like maniacs. And one night, it actually came to blows. They were fighting and rolling around the floor like all-in wrestlers. Oh, it was awful, truly awful. I tried to pull them apart, but they were so strong.
What happened after that?
Oh, well, William saved up enough money for a flight to Australia, and within 6 months, he was gone. Just like that.
A bird leaving the nest.
Thought I'd get over it, but I haven't. See, I miss him. I really miss him.
I bet you do.
It's hard when someone you love leaves you forever.
Oh, I know how it feels, dear. I remember when Jack was called up for national service in about 51, I think it was. Sometime around that anyway. And I really didn't know where to turn.
No! Why do people say, for heaven's sake, why do people say they know how I feel when they don't? You don't.
No
one does.
You're right, love. You're right. Only you know. Only you know.
Everyone says it's natural, isn't it, for children to leave home? But this wasn't natural, was it? He was driven away, and he couldn't have got further away if he tried, could he?
And you were left on your own.
I was. But not Trevor. Oh no. Dear old Trevor was hardly ever alone. Those business dinners and the times he did come home. I know where he'd been. I could smell their perfume on him. Oh, he was so bloody arrogant. Probably thought I didn't suspect a thing. I was such a stupid fool. God. He's a bastard. I hate him. I really hate him. He's a cheat and a bully. And I'm pretending everything's all right. God, I must be the biggest fool in the world. I'm sorry. I do apologise. It just came over me all of a sudden.
It's all right, love. A good cry's a tonic sometimes. Here, have one of these.
You.
And another one of these will do you good.
wait for him to see if there was a phone call or anything. I'd then go to bed, but still lie awake, hoping in the hope that there'd be a phone call or something. Oh, occasionally I'd get one, and there'd be the usual excuses. Missed the last train, got to stay up late from town. But I know what he'd been up to.
You always know when they're telling porkies.
A pity of it was. He probably thought I didn't suspect anything. Just keep the little wife at home happy. But I was a bundle of misery, with nowhere to go to and no one to turn to. Oh, and for 2 pence I'd have left him.
Why didn't you?
I don't think I want to continue this. I think I've said too much already.
Those ruddy boundaries again. Look, you said at the start I could ask you anything, didn't you? Or was I dreaming?
Well, yes, I did, but I didn't think I'd be talking to a stranger.
Yeah, but we're friends now, aren't we? That's what you wanted, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, it was.
So, why don't you leave him? There must be somewhere you can go.
I've got nowhere at all. I'm living in a house with someone who despises me. Oh God, I've got nothing left. That's why I'm doing this, you see, this befriending, so it gets me out of the house and doing something worthwhile with my life while I still can. See, I've got nothing. My son's been driven away. I can't see him or my grandchild. And it's all because of him. Oh, I can't even bear to say his name. He pulls all the strings. And there I am like a puppet, pretending everything's all right with the world, while he parades up and down the stage like some puffed up bloody Falstaff. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sounding so stupidly melodramatic. You see, I've never told anyone this before. I've got nowhere to go and no one to turn to.
You could always make a clean break of it and go and visit William in Australia.
Oh, I've thought about that 100 times. But I'd be leaving things here when I should be trying to sort them out.
Oh, listen. Pack your bags and follow those birds of yours while you're still young enough to fly. Don't go waiting till you're ancient like me and fall asleep in the ruddy chair all the time.
It's a huge step.
It's the biggest thing you'll ever do, and the only thing holding you back is you. Have you got someone you could go and stay with for a while?
No, not really.
Well, you could always come here, you know.
Pardon?
There's a spare room here. It's not the Ritz, but it's not too bad if you ignore the wallpaper. It'll be the first step.
Oh, I couldn't possibly.
Oh, look, the invitation's open for as long as you like. Just have a think and tell me what you'd like to do.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm really grateful for the offer. I really am.
It's fine. You just think about it. Come whenever you want. The door's always open, you know that.
Oh, Mrs. Johnson, it's been really good to talk to you.
Mrs. who?
Mrs. Johnson.
Johnson. I'm Betty Phillips. Mrs. Johnson.
Here we go, Mrs. Johnson, 53 Middleton Terrace.
This is 57. Oh, thank your lucky stars you came here and not to number 55. She's a right cow, she is. Give me a ring. Use a book. Phillips. Betty Phillips, number 57. One with welcome on the mat.
Thank you, Mrs. Phillips.
Call me Betty.
Thank you. Ooh, I don't think I could go and see Mrs. Johnson like this.
Why don't you go and have a lie down for a bit? you'll feel better, and then you can go and do your befriending, or whatever you call it.
It's a good idea.
It's just down there on the left. Take as long as you like, and if I'm awake, don't bother to wake me up. Oh, I did enjoy our chat, I really did. Let me know what you decide. You know where I am now. Number 57.
She's like going to speak.
Did you accuse her husband of having a poop in your fridge? She did a poop in the fridge.